That's John Cook and DJ Snake with Please Don't Change right here on 101.7 Kids FM. Let's play. Time is 10:05 on the clock. My name is Dara and you are listening to the Breaktime Show. We are in the second hour of the show, which means it's time for Women's Nest. Now, I told you that we're going to be having a special guest on the show today because we're going to be talking to very special people today on Women's Nest. Now, before I continue, let our special guest introduce ourselves. Say hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
You're listening to the Breaktime Show.
Thank you.
All right. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
All right. My name is Blessing Agunande, and I work with Cool Wazobia Info FM.
Okay.
I'm with the customer service unit of the admin department.
All right. Now, there's another reason why we brought her here today, because it's not, we know all her duties and, she's very professional. But there's a reason we brought you here today. Can you tell us why?
Because I'm a mother.
All right. Now, today on Women's Nest, the special people we're going to be talking to who were our secret heroes on Hero Corner are our mothers. All right. Now, mothers we call them super mamas, superhuman. There's so many things that they do and they know. They happen to have all the knowledge in their head. And today, mamas, we're going to be discussing something that a lot of times, or in the times of old, because I want to believe that our generation is moving forward into newer, better things. It's something that we don't talk about a lot. We like to use code and say it hush hush, so it's not so obvious. And what I'm talking about is puberty. Now you're wondering, what does puberty have to do with moms? Like, they're already old. Nah, it's not puberty for moms. It's puberty with our children. Navigating puberty with your children is what we're going to be talking about on Women's Nest. Now, in many Nigerian homes, the conversations about puberty and body changes, they've traditionally been very quiet and silenced. You do it in secret, you don't make it so obvious. However, today's moms, you need a break from the culture of silence and you need to create safe spaces for discussions around puberty. Understanding that puberty, first of all, is something that happens to both boys and girls. It's not a conversation you should have with only your girl child and say, as you grow older, your body will do this and your body will do that. Even for the boy child, because they too are going through a lot of changes that they do not understand. It's also another thing to note that in today's world, because of our lifestyle changes, environmental factors, our diet, stress, and a host of other issues, puberty is now starting earlier than before. Before, they would tell you puberty starts around the ages of 13, 14, but now we're hearing about 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, and sometimes even 7-year-olds who have started their menstrual period. So yeah, even puberty is changing just like the rest of the world. I remember when I started menstruating, my gosh, it was a very calm affair actually for me. I just walked up to my mom and I was like, Mom, something is happening. And she's like, oh, okay, here, we've talked about this before. Here's this, because she had talked about it before with me. She was like, oh, take this pad. I don't remember if she showed me how to wear a pad, but I figured it out, I guess. I can't remember. It's been a long time, but I probably figured it out myself. So it depends. And for me, I was already like a teen when that started. But for some people, they're quite younger and it's as dramatic as coming in and somebody shouting, Mommy, I'm dying. there's blood coming out of my body. And the mom is like, where? And then she realizes that, oh, wait, it's just her period, but we'll get to that. Yeah. So we're going to talk more on the show, what exactly is puberty and the changes that happen. How can you as a mother navigate those changes? I'm going to play some music and then we are going to talk all about that and see better ways in which we can help our children navigate the changes and the chaos of puberty. Right now, I've got Dance Monkey from Tones and I. This one is playing for you right here on the Breaktime Show. My name is Dara. Let's have fun.
They say, oh my God, I see the
to complain about.
One Republic with Good Life right here on the Breaktime Show with Dara. Time is 10:17 a.m. and right now we are talking navigating puberty with your children on Women's Nest. I have a guest here in the studio with me and she's a mom of 3 and she's going to let us know all about how she was able to handle things with her own kids. Now, puberty, as we all know, is a time when a child's body and mind begins to mature into an adult and they become sexually and reproductively able. And it's a very natural process. It happens to every single human being on the planet. And it's also very different for every single person. Because again, no 2 fingerprints are the same. No 2 human beings are the same. Now, some of the common changes that you find that happens during puberty in your children include physical changes like development of body hair, development of reproductive organs. For the ladies, menstruation. For the boys, changes in voice, growth spurts, and so on. Now, the one people don't talk about a lot are the emotional changes that come with puberty. Things like mood swings, anxiety, sensitivity. And trust me, those are the ones you really want to pay attention to. Especially when they hit those teenage years, you want to pay attention to the emotions. Now, Mommy, I know you have 3 kids and they're quite grown now, if I remember. One got married very recently. Congratulations. Yes.
Thank you.
Now, can you tell us some of these changes that raising 3 children, they all pass through puberty? What are some of the changes that you saw in your children?
Okay. Like my first daughter, when she got to that age of puberty, she was not so scared because I had already told her about it, so she was expecting it, so at that time she didn't she wasn't so scared, though she felt somehow like something has changed in me. There's something different
about me.
So she took it lightly, and luckily for her, the day it started, we were home.
Oh, okay.
So she was like, Mommy, that thing you told me, it looks like it's happening now. So, Mommy, what do I do? I say, remember what I told you. So you don't have to be scared. You don't have to get excited. You just need to be calm. So this is something that is happening in you and coming naturally. So you have to be ready for it and always prepare yourself. Mind.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid. So the next thing to do is to pick up her sanitary pad, fix it up. And when she fixed it up, she was like, Mommy, this thing is not comfortable.
It's so comfortable. I know.
I say, yes, this is what you need to keep yourself safe, from
leakages or staining yourself
or infections. So you need to make sure you always need to put it on and keep yourself safe. So she did just that. And she was quite happy. Mommy, thank you, because you were here when it started.
It happened. The other 2 girls, by any chance, did any one of them start when you were not there?
Yes. Ooh. The second girl, it started when I wasn't there.
Oh no, how did she handle that?
Well, she also handled it because I already taught her.
Yeah.
So this is what we need to keep doing as mothers. So
we
don't have to wait until they start experiencing it. We need to, keep them prepared already ahead. So when it comes, it wouldn't be
so shocking.
Yeah. It wouldn't be as in.
Yeah, it wouldn't be
they
shocking.
Wouldn't be scared.
They would especially scared.
Yes.
You telling me about your first child, it brought back memories, because I didn't realize, or I didn't remember when I first started wearing, menstrual products. It was uncomfortable. My mom said that I used to waddle like a duck. I used to waddle around the house because to me, it felt like somebody had stuck a huge piece of cardboard between my thighs and it was very uncomfortable. But after a while, you get used to it because it's like, oh, there's nothing there. Sometimes you don't know that there's anything there.
Exactly.
So. But that's amazing. And thank you, Mama, for educating your children. You know, because that's a myth that I want us to break today on the show. A lot of people feel like talking to your children about puberty will make them more curious about sex. And that's not true. Because when you talk openly, first of all, like Mommy here said, you are preparing the kids. They're not scared. They're not shocked. They're not panicking like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? They know exactly what to do because you have taught them ahead of time. Also, talking openly and honestly about puberty actually reduces curiosity and it helps make the children more informed and helps them make responsible choices. If you as parents don't provide accurate information, children are curious by nature. They will go and look for the answers elsewhere. And more often than not, they're going to end up with unreliable sources that will be telling them what they are not supposed to hear. Well. And that could, lead them astray. The good book says, train up your child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. It's basic fact. It's what you teach them that they know. If you don't teach them, somebody else will. So it's very important that you, Mommy and Daddy, do the teaching, especially the mommy for the girls and the daddy for the boys, okay? You have to be the one doing the teaching. Now, I'm going to play some music, and then when we come back, we're going to look at how we can normalize the conversation around puberty with our kids. Right now on the Breaktime Show, I've got great music lined up for you, and this one is coming from Eric Nam. It's called Don't Leave Yet. My name is Dara. Let's have fun.
I know you wish that you could call him. Found something else to fill the space.
That is Illit with Magnetic right here on the Breaktime Show on 101.7 Kids FM. Let's play. Time is 10:38 and we've been having the conversation on walking through puberty with your children right here on Women's Nest. We've talked about puberty. We've talked about the changes that happen to our children during puberty. We've also talked about why it's important to speak about it to our kids as opposed to making it a hush-hush thing and letting somebody else tell them what is wrong about it and what they shouldn't know yet about it. Now, it's very important that we normalize the conversation surrounding puberty with the young ones. Instead of avoiding, taboo topics about the changes that happen to your body during puberty, we need to make it as natural as when talking about mathematics or as natural about, oh, how was your day? What did you eat? It has to be as natural as that. Using everyday situations like, period, body odor, some of the changes that happens to the body during puberty, using them as conversation starters with your kids will make it more natural for them. Also, using proverbs and relatable analogies to help them make the lessons about puberty stick is another good way to make it happen. There's an adage that says that if you don't teach your child at home, the world will teach them something else. And it's very true because whatever you don't teach them at home, they're going to learn it elsewhere. And hopefully they're not learning the wrong thing. Now, there's some myths that, Mom, I'm sure you heard growing up when it came to puberty. Myths like when they tell girls that if a boy touches you, you're going to get pregnant. They tell you. That's their way of them trying to tell you to stay away from boys at a young age. And that's simply not true. I don't think anyone has ever gotten pregnant from physical touch before. At least just a hand. The other type of physical touch, yes. But just a hand touching you, that can't happen. And I know that there are some things. I heard one, they said that if a girl eats lots of eggs, that she's going to become promiscuous. And I'm like, how? What's the correlation between egg and... It doesn't gel.
At all.
Now, I know for you now, when raising your children, how did you make it normal talking about puberty for them?
Well... There was no. Did
you use the birds and the bees?
Not at all. Not at all. There was no extra languages.
Yeah,
it was just being natural,
straightforward,
and straight to the point. Making them understand the real truth. About puberty. So they need to just be calm and face it. It's natural. So the basic thing is make sure you get yourself, secured. with your sanitary towel, and make sure you keep yourself neat. There are some people, even in that situation, they can carry their pads from morning till night. They wouldn't even remember to change it. So these are the things we need to teach them. You have your sanitary towel for starters before you leave home. You make sure you have extra in your bag, like 2 or 3. Just have extra, on you, so you can
you're
change
safe and secure.
at different times when you need to change them. So you won't get smelling, you won't get leaking, stuff like that. You need just to be ready
to be
for
very
it.
And I like she said, you have to be very straightforward. Yes, I know sometimes we're tempted to use all these funny languages, but give it straight. Kids are, it's how you train them that they grow. So if you train your kids to be like super smart and they're getting things instantly, if you try to do when the baboon climbs they already know what you are saying.
Yes.
So because
they're very smart.
Because before you even, they're very smart. Before you even decide, let me talk about this thing to my child, they've been hearing it in school from other children. That's why you have to be the one to start that conversation with them. So when they even get to school, when they hear different things from different people, they know that, this is not true, because my mom has already told me. My dad has already told me that this is what really happens. So I know that this is what happens. And they're not, confused. And even when they hear those strange things, they'll come and meet you and be like, Mommy, you told me that this is how this thing works. This person in school was saying this one and this one and this one. And you'll be able to even correct them and be like, okay, this is not true because this and that and that. You'll be able to explain it to them.
Very well.
And for the emotional changes, one thing I want to tell our lovely parents, please be patient with your children. This is they've never done puberty before. They've never.
Yes.
This is their first time. And in addition to all the physical changes that can be very confusing for even them, there are lots of emotional changes that they're going through too. Like young girls now, as puberty comes, mood swings hook you by the throat.
Very well.
So you have to be very patient with them, because you would have loved someone to be patient with you when it was your turn. And if you did have patient parents, you saw how loving it was. They were able to gently guide you through the process, explain all the changes to you, even when sometimes, they say terrible teens, when you're a teenager, your emotions are all over the place. You're like, no, I want to do things my way. You need to be patient with them, because this is the first time that they're having those feelings of independence. You're the one that will now guide them and tell them that, it's good to be independent, but we are still here to guide you, because you need to learn about some things to avoid and some things to know. You just have to be very, very patient with them.
Very well.
I have to reiterate again, they've never done this before. Because sometimes we treat them like, they know what they are doing.
Just like a first-time mom.
I promise you, they don't know what they are doing. They really don't. Think they do, but they don't really. So it's your job to be kind and be very, very patient with them, and just guide them through the whole process. Now, tomorrow, we're going to continue the conversation on puberty, and we're going to be looking at very practical ways. I'm not talking theory, I'm talking practical, like do this one and it will work. Very surefire, practical ways to help your children through the many, many changes of puberty. Now, in the next hour, I'm going to play it's going to be an hour of great music. I've got the best playlist lined up for you because it's Monday morning. I want you to have the best week ever. And the music of the next hour is going to let you know that you are going to have the best day of your life. All right. Thank you so much, Mama, for coming on the show with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing
nice being with you on the show.
It was nice having you. Sometimes we want to hear from the mouth, the horse's mouth, as they say. Those who have passed through it, they are the best people to teach us about what to do. So hopefully we're going to have you again tomorrow on the show, and you let us know what it's like, the practical examples, the things you did with your beautiful daughters. And maybe we can even get a boy mom on the show so we can have a balanced diet, as some people will say.
Great.
Balanced diet on the show. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Dara.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you.
All right. Right now I've got Calvin Harris with Blame right here on 101.7 Kids FM. It's the Breaktime Show with Dara. Let's have fun.
Can't be sleeping, keep on waking without the woman next to me.